think it's pretty safe to say that we allow our feelings or our emotions to determine the actions that we take. For example, maybe you stay up late Sunday night, then you have to wake up early Monday morning, and that alarm goes off at 5 a.m. You snooze it, you end up sleeping in, and the things that you needed to get done early in the morning are now pushed off to later in the day. And that's just a simple example, but I want to talk specifically about why good people end up doing bad things. And this is a question that's answered in the Bible, but I want to start off before I share a Bible verse saying that as humans, we fall short, yes. And a major reason for that is because we find reasons to justify certain actions. For example, if you're in school, you have a test coming up and you don't feel like studying, you feel like going out, right? You end up not getting as good of a grade as you would have gotten if you would have just stayed in and studied. In sports, you want to get a D1 scholarship, you want to end up starting, you want to put yourself in the best position to be noticed, right, on the field. What are you going to do? It's very easy to justify, especially if you're hanging around the wrong people, people that don't have the same goals or aren't aligned in the visions that you have for yourself, to deter. It's very easy for them to deter you from doing the things that you need to get done. So maybe that can be an example of staying after the workout that you have, working on some extra field work or whatever it is to perfect your craft, and you end up skipping out on that to go hang out with your buddies. In business, specifically for me in sales, there's days where I don't feel like cold calling, and there's times where I don't, but I more often than not try to make at least 50 calls a day. And today was one of those days where I fell short. I only ended up making 25. And the excuse that I made was that I was busy with other things. Well, if I had just started a little bit earlier, I could have gotten that administrative work done earlier and given myself more time to make calls. So that's on me. But at that point, I made the excuse, right? It's very easy to justify the excuse. And in the Bible, in Romans chapter 7, verse 18, it says, "I know that good itself does not dwell in me. It's in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. I do not do the good that I want to do, but the evil that I do not want to do. This I keep on doing." And Romans is written by Paul, and Paul's acknowledging that, yes, he wants to do good, but he struggles, like we all struggle, with our sinful nature, and we fall short. And the point in this video is that there's 2 points that I want to make. The first is that the reason why good people do bad things is because they find reasons to justify certain actions, like I mentioned earlier. And I mentioned some more minute decisions and actions, like not studying for a test, hanging out with your friends, not doing the extra field work, not making the cold calls, etc. But that starts to progress, obviously, a lot faster as you get older. A more serious example could be somebody does something to harm you or your family. Now you feel like you need to retaliate, get revenge on them, go after them, right? That's what our body, that's what our heart, that's what our flesh is going to want to do, get that revenge and retaliate. And it says it here in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, that the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Obviously, the human heart is inherently deceitful, and it leads us to act against our better judgment, again, finding ways to justify certain actions. And so that's the point that I want to make. Don't allow yourself to fall short. It's going to happen, but if you remove the noise, you trim the fat, cut the fat from your life, and get rid of those distractions so that you can focus in on, staying after, studying, doing the right thing, making the right choices. It's about who you hang out with, who you surround yourself with, and the choices that we make. Don't allow yourself to justify certain things for whatever the reason may be. And when you start to justify certain actions that you may be thinking about, don't allow those thoughts to become actions. And as you get better and progress and pray on it, don't even allow those to become thoughts, because thoughts ultimately do become actions. So if you remove anything that puts a certain thought in your mind, right? Maybe it's hanging out with the wrong people, they're out smoking dope, and you're, not wanting to smoke, right? Don't hang around those people, because that thought of seeing them smoking or seeing them doing X, Y, or Z is going to turn into an action if the longer you hang around them. It's just like the analogy. If you want to be, you hang around 5 millionaires, you'll probably end up being the sixth. You hang out around 5 degenerates, you'll probably end up being the sixth degenerate. And that's probably controversial as a Christian to judge and say a degenerate, but that's the point. Cut the fat from your life, make a decision, and truly pray on it. Pray for the strength. Open up your Bible when you feel like you're falling short. That's something that I've started doing. I started really trying to lean on God for strength to get those thoughts out of my mind. And when my mind starts to revert back to that sinful nature, I really try and revert it back to godly thoughts, Bible verses, things like that, so that it gets my mind off of that. Hope you guys found value in today's video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications. Share it with a friend. Leave a comment. Interested to hear what feedback you have. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate the time.